My name's Lisa Harrison, and today is Tuesday, the 31st of January 2012. This is an unusual interview for me because I will be learning about and hearing from my guest today for the first time, along with you, the viewer. I don't know much about him, other than being told that I can pretty much ask him anything about life, the universe, and creation. And I also have Sean Clark on the line, who brought today's guest to my attention. Are you there, Sean?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much for coordinating today's interview. I do appreciate it. I'm
You're
looking
welcome.
forward to it a great deal. Now, as I understand where you're coming from, you've been communicating with, and I'm going to try and say this right, Allfaaraa,
Allfaaraa.
Allfaaraa, for several years, learning from him, communicating with him, and has found that his information is
Just about the best I've found.
okay. Well, it can't come any highly.
The best I've found. Let's not mince words.
Okay. And your role today, from what I can understand, is that if any of this information goes over my head, or I just don't quite get
Oh,
it, that perhaps you're there to help guide me because you've been learning about this for some time.
Yes, yes, exactly. I'm just more in touch with just the mind level stuff. That's all. I'm more, I guess. Maybe Alf can explain it better, but
yeah.
but
May I interrupt, Lisa? Is it okay to speak?
Absolutely, but I'd just like to welcome you first.
Oh,
Welcome.
you know what? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I've been very excited about doing this. It's 40 years coming to this point. And this really is, although I've taught for a long time and for a while read everything, this is the first time that I've done anything like this, okay? And I'm very, very excited. I'm going to give you the side you have never heard, okay? And Sean can assure you, and I can assure you too, what I'm going to tell you have not heard anywhere. There are no teachers that teaching this. There are no teachers able to teach it because humanity has had one side of the story for so long.
Mm.
And in the interview, you'll ask me, well, why now? Why? Okay, and we'll answer that. But I wanted to clarify, Sean, what I found, I started teaching again after everything I knew was shattered back in about 2000, 2001. I was a teacher, and back in the 80s, I'd read every work that was written, all the classics, Eastern, Western, you name it. I was a channel. And basically, I believed, as everybody else do, we're all one in the four basic spiritual principles and yada, yada, yada. And I taught channeling, and I was a good channel. And I taught astral projection, and you name it, I taught it. Okay, and I was a good teacher. And yet I knew something was missing, okay? There's another side of the picture that there's no written knowledge about. What about the other side, okay? Everything came crashing down for me in 2001 when I basically, about the fifth time I'd lost everything I had, and this time I couldn't rebuild it. And I was up in the Grand Canyon, Arizona, in a little town called Strawberry, in a tiny little room, very similar to where I am now. I'm way up in Eagle's Nest, New Mexico. We're at 9,000 feet in the snow, okay?
Mm.
And I'm talking on Skype. That's the only phone service I have. There's no real cell service here. And the other side came to me and told me, here's what will happen, here's what you'll see. And I'd always wanted to write this book, okay? And it's been my purpose since the 80s to write this book about all my knowledge and everything and being an angel of God, an angel of Michael. And yet it wouldn't happen. Well, until I understood the other side of the picture, I didn't have all the answers. Now, this is going to sound brash. I'm not sure what. But I have all the answers from both sides. I can tell you the why, the where, the how, and what makes work, how our Creator operates in this universe, why we're here, what we're supposed to do, okay,
Mm.
where we're going, okay, approximately when it's going to happen, and how it's going to happen.
Well, I'll just sit back
Sean,
and listen, and you can just
okay,
tell
no, no,
me.
no, no, you have to ask. It doesn't work that way. It does. It would be nice if it worked that way,
that's been
okay?
part of my role too, is to ask the questions.
Here is the thing, okay? I will show you how there are two souls growing inside your body, not just the one that you think. There is another, okay? And when you first hear it, until you can understand it, and it took Sean a couple of years. I mean, there's some anxiety, maybe some fear, but I'll take those fears away. But Sean is here because I found, now audibly, I'm great. Give me a soapbox. Give me 10,000 people. It's what I was designed for in this lifetime, to communicate to people. But when I type, I have to go around my ego, okay? And he has a name in case we reference. My higher self is Allfaaraa. I am an aspect of the great angel, Allfaaraa, Antara, Amara, okay? My ego, okay, which is that mind which runs this body, which is also a soul, has a name also. And we call him, her, Alfie. So you might hear Sean or I reference Alfie, okay? And what you will learn through this is that soul and ego have exact opposite purposes for your body and your being, okay? So what I noticed is in my typing when I was teaching online all over the world, okay, is that it was very hard to distract my ego because I had to type. So I'm bringing the spiritual information in, but yet I have to go back into my ego, which is that soul. I will explain that has an opposite purpose of my soul, to then type it. And my typing is horrible. I'd have capital this, capital that. People would, Alf, I understand your message, but you're typing, well, one day I see Sean on another thread where he wasn't supposed to be, but he's, always sneaking off to type, his understanding of me to some other people. And I'm reading this and I'm saying, this guy makes me sound better than me. Okay? True, he did. And I said, man, he's learned what I've taught him. Okay? And he then puts it in a format in writing to where people can understand. So I'm seeing people that can't understand me and are arguing and disagreeing, but I see them on another location agreeing with Sean when it's exactly what I'm saying. And I said, that is the answer. I have thousands and thousands of pages of information, yet I can't assemble them. So back in, I think around June, the only thing I needed to complete it was somebody that could write it better than I could write it. Okay. Right. And a lot of publishing companies have been interested, but can you find a writer? The information is of the highest. But so we're talking, and Sean pops off and says, I'll do it. And I said, what do you mean you'll do it? He says, I'll do it. I'll write it. I said, you'll write it? He said, yeah. I said, okay. And it was that point we formed this union. Mm-hmm. And, I still had to have a few things happen. I was in a job which I needed to get out of. The job gave me the time to write everything. But now all of a sudden it was coming, and I says, here's what's going to happen. This job that I'm a partner in this real estate venture, it's going to go south this quick. I don't know how it's going to happen, but it's going to be ugly, and it's going south, and I'm going to be out of there. Because I couldn't leave the guy that I represented. He was in such financial trouble, and I had saved his company for the longest time. It wouldn't write, and even though I have no karma at the level I'm at, it's instant karma, still I felt and understood that if I walked on this guy and he lost his business, okay, it would be on me. So I said, but he's got to fire me. And everybody I knew said, there's no way he'll fire you. Look what you've done for him. Well, everything came to head in about 30 days, and boom! I mean, I was out the door. And Sean and I couldn't believe it. But that's what happened. So he's here, not that nobody can understand, but you are hearing things that you haven't heard. The spiritual community is not heard. The planet is not heard. There are maybe 2 or 3 people that agree with me on key points. George agrees on certain things. There's a guy in Arizona, and I'll quote his name. We just found it again, Niles McFlower, who agrees on a key point. Eckhart Tolle agrees on one key point. But everybody has one of the pieces. This ain't going to sound right. I have a few more pieces, okay?
Yeah.
And we'll talk about my background, okay? So I'm turning the mic back to you, and you're on.
Well, background, I mean, you did say that in your one email to me, really, that you're not a psychic and you're not a medium.
not at all.
So
Even though,
yeah, even though you were
even though,
teaching channeling and teaching
yeah, yeah,
these
yeah,
other things. So what do you
right.
how do you consider yourself? Were you a walk-in
Am I?
in that
Oh,
sense,
yes.
or
Okay. I don't really consider myself a walk-in because I walked in at 2 years old. Okay. And let me explain you the process. I have full memory of just about all my lives, and we're about 888, 889. Okay. I
lifetimes?
understand. Oh, yes. That's just on this world. Okay. Um, I my awareness comes from before this entire world was created. Okay. I can tell you sitting above when I can tell you why the War of Heaven was, how it happened, what we destroyed, why it was. I can tell you why we came to this world. I can tell you what was our purpose. I can
But
tell
this
you
is
how
all
we
information that when you walked in at
direct.
two, did you have full recall of this, or has it come back to you?
Well, I
Have
had lots of, and it was too scary. Okay, let's put it like this. Let me talk to you about the walk-in. I was 2 years old, and see, there's a lot that prefaces this as to bodies.
uh-huh.
We incarnate in genetic lines. Souls incarnate for a couple different purposes. But one of them is when the spirit, okay, you are a soul, you're an aspect of a spirit. The soul actually modifies genetics of a body, okay? You create your own body to serve the purpose that you are required to serve in this lifetime,
Mm-hmm.
okay? And you created the lifetime before in a genetic line. Souls and families of souls incarnate together. Okay, you have sisters, you have brothers, you have mothers, fathers. I guarantee you, you're looking at your father, it could have been your sister in your past life. Okay, as well as your brother may have been your sister. Okay, we incarnate together to work off karma. Souls incarnate as families, and we incarnate in a specific genetic line. It has been that way since this world began, since we incarnated in Monkey Man. Okay, you incarnate in a genetic line that balances with your level of spirit that you have actually modified to fit your specific purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When you finish your incarnations on this planet, okay, you will be given a choice whether you want to continue, okay, in a master program, let's call it, okay, and they have 3 levels of masters. Um, at that point, okay, you can't get back into, you can't just reincarnate into a body. You have to reincarnate into the line that you created, okay? So in this point, I came in as an adoptee, okay? In other words, this was not my family. None of the souls that were with me, okay, or of my soul group were in this line at all. It was an adopted child by some older parents, okay, and the child had pneumonia, was 2 years old. My Earth mother at that time was traveling across country from Baltimore, Maryland. Gee, I know somebody who lives there, to California, and the baby had gotten wet. This was in 1953. Oh my gosh, you know how old I am. Okay, and had caught cold. They stopped at a hospital, and I watched the whole thing from leaving Baltimore to coming to the hospital. One thing also that we could always talk about is the walk-in process. I'm very good with that. I have participated in many in the physical and in the spiritual. It is a whole neat process in how it works. But anyways, as the baby was dying on the table, we were in the room, okay?
Who's
Both
we?
the right hand, the left hand, okay, and myself, okay? The soul leaving, okay, the soul coming in, myself. And the agreements were made, and being an infant soul, there are not a lot of details, okay? When you get a mother or a father that have children, that is usually see, this process involves agreements from the soul departing and the soul coming in.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing the soul coming in does is guarantees that all karma will be on him or her, whoever's coming in. If you want to say a soul really isn't feminine or masculine, but yet karma will be taken on. And number two, if there's children, the soul leaving, the biggest concern is children, especially if it is incarnate in a female body, which happens to be the better of the two forms, by the way, okay? Most all of the heavy hitters right now, all of your most powerful souls are all in female forms. It is the body of choice. I assure you that. Don't ask me why
No
I'm in this
argument
form.
from me, but
Right. No, it's don't ask me why I'm in this form. Sean always asks me, well, if that's the case, I said, dude, okay, go to any spiritual seminar, any spiritual gathering, you'll see 80% or 90% women. Why do you think that is? Okay. Let's use rationality in that one. Well, the point is, okay, as the soul left and I came down, I remembered everything. Okay. Now, when you do come into the body, you are veiled. Okay. This is why anybody tells you they have total recall, baloney. Wrong answer. Impossible, because you are veiled through the ego. Okay, it does not yet allow that. You have to earn it. Okay, you have to earn your awareness as your ego's peeled back. Even me. Okay, but I knew. Okay, by 5 years old. Okay, I knew something was definitely different. Okay, I had understandings of people. I was able to communicate and understand things that I would stand up for what was wrong, and I would communicate with adults. Says, no, this isn't correct. This can't be. And I was always in trouble. I was always being punished for something. And there was always the big guy standing in the corner that I could see, right, with the big wings, and almost like, don't worry, nobody's ever going to hurt you. Okay, it's all right. And he was always there. I mean, he's still always there. Okay.
are you talking about Michael?
Yes. Well, could have been Lucifer also, okay, at that time. Right. But, yes, mostly Michael at that time. And the color, my color's always been blue. He manifests as the blue. I've always understood things, and it probably started about 10 or 12 years old, where my awareness became, it's almost embarrassing to talk about, but I always knew that I was an angel, okay? I always knew where I came from. I always had them to talk to. It would stand in front of me. I'm sure you'll ask the question and we'll laugh. Do they have wings? But we'll save that for later. I always knew that the earth and why we're here is not what's taught, okay? Now, my parents were adopted and were Jewish, so they made me go. I mean, I was adopted. They were Jewish. My father was Catholic. My mother was Jewish. And we would go to temple and we would go to church, and it never fit. The answers, they were wrong. And I was always getting thrown out of Sunday school and Hebrew school and saying, this isn't right. What you're saying doesn't make sense. It's what your understanding is. And this was at 12 years old.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I'm laughing, and it's not at you. It's because it sounds like you've been snooping on my life. I did the same. So many similarities in terms of
right.
Yeah, I got thrown out of Sunday scripture classes.
Did you really?
Yes.
Did you really? Oh wow. Okay. And I would sit there. It's like talking with teachers. Okay. In school, I mean, I was a C or B student because it didn't matter. I wouldn't read anything. It didn't matter what they were teaching. And yet I would correct the teachers. I didn't have many friends as a child. What they were interested in wasn't what I was interested in. And so growing up was difficult. At about 28 years old, I always knew that death isn't what it is. I'm not this body. It's that which is immortal that possesses this body. The body is a vehicle. It is actually clothed for God. Okay? And this whole thing is such an illusion, but the illusion is not as they explain. The illusion is backwards. The illusion is that I think I am this flesh, but that's not me. Okay? And I set out to prove it. And I got involved in the spiritual community, start learning, start teaching. I remember it was in 1983. There was the Whole Life Expo in Los Angeles, California, where I was growing up. And we had a booth there. We were channels. I was with a couple friends who were also channels. And they had a big entity speaking. And I won't mention his name, but at that time he had a book out, and he was very, very popular. He was an astral entity. And there are astral entities and celestial entities. Okay? And I was listening, and I heard about enough, and I was walking out of the conference. About 3,000 people. There was a reporter from the Los Angeles Times who I had taken around, and he thought we were all weirdos, right? And I had to show him that, no, these are normal people with maybe a little different ideas. And he saw me leaving, and all of a sudden the NTZ goes, this was the first time this happened, stop! And I kept walking. Who's he talking to? Because he was answering questions. He says, you, stop! So I turn around and look, and all 3,000 people are looking at me. I said, yes. Do you know you're an angel of God? And I went, yeah, I've always known. And I turn around and start walking, and everyone, ooh. and it wasn't a week later. Well, actually, no, it was about a year later. I had given up Los Angeles to move to Arizona. Okay, I wanted to continue with my teaching. Arizona had, at that time, a much higher vibration. They had Sedona. And I wanted to go and meditate in the vortexes and, and I got involved with some of the spiritual groups there. And it was the first channeling event that somebody was putting on. And it was a big one. It was a little local one. It was 100 people. And it was almost the same thing. Okay, I'm going out to, I don't know what it was, go to the bathroom or something. The guy's, wait. And he didn't actually say it like that, but same thing. I stopped. He says, you're an angel of God and you know it. And I said, it's almost embarrassing. And I says, yeah, and you're the second entity to tell me that. But I'd always known that. The thing was, yeah, I've always known. Okay. And at that time, I realized that I wanted to write this book, and I knew a whole lot, okay, that other people really didn't. And I would talk to them about the concepts and the why we're here, and what I've taught was wrong too. The common thing is we're all here to experience and to learn. Nonsense, right? Nonsense. You're here for a purpose. You need to know what it is and achieve that purpose, okay? And this comes with knowledge. I went into a business and ended up becoming very, very wealthy. Very, very wealthy. Ridiculous. It was nuts. I came there for spiritual development, ended up being a multi-millionaire. And not what I wanted, but had fun with it until it crashed, okay? And I basically lost everything, had nothing, and again manifested another business where it was done for me, became wealthy again, and it crashed. And I ended up right on the rim of the Grand Canyon above Payson, in a little town, in a room. And that's when, it was a room 10 by 10 in the snow, snowed in. And I was meditating and kind of doing some automatic writing when the left hand of God, the opposite spectrum, came to me and told me that he was my first father and took me back. It was a period of about 7 or 8 days to the beginning, removed any veils, and took me back to where the consciousness that I was, my star, basically the star that I am, and we went through the war in heaven, the coming to this planet, and opened up my mind so I could understand every one of my lifetimes, how it works, why it works, the mechanics of it, what's going to happen, how it's going to happen, and basically explained that up until the coming out of Egypt, I was what you would call a demon, a tachton in Hebrew, which means under the firmament, under the wall. Do you understand? I think George calls it, what does George call it, Sean?
The universal void, or the universal membrane, I think he likes to call it, or it's a void, or he'll use any of those terms.
In Hebrew, it is rakia, which means wall, okay? And this is what the Creator placed around the earth, okay, after the restructuring, okay? And this is where the Bible starts.
Hang on, okay? We need to go back because you're losing me already.
Good.
Go. You've made reference to the right and left hand of God.
Correct.
So who is God, what is God, and who or what are the right and left hands?
Okay. Well, let's go with this. Let's go with, there is Archangel Michael is the right hand. Archangel Lucifer is the left hand. Okay. Christ Michael is God to this universe. Or Lord Michael. Lord Lucifer, okay, is God of this world, which means everything under the firmament or the wall. Okay. Lucifer and Gia Is that how you pronounce it? How you pronounce it, Gia? Okay. Lucifer is the consciousness of the earth. Lucifer is the earth.
Oh, you
God of
mean
the earth.
Gaia? We say Gaia.
Gaia. Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Right.
Okay. Gia, Gaia. Okay. Gaia and Lucifer are one and the same. Okay. Lucifer is the earth consciousness, the original logos, and the first Christ is the left hand of the God and the anchor of the darkness, as Michael is the anchor of the light. Christ Michael is God. Now then above that is the creator. Okay. So you have a creator, you have God of this universe. Okay. You have God of the world. Okay.
Are
Those
they?
are the
Are they? When you say God of the universe and God of the world, are they on an equal footing, or is it more that Michael
equal
is some?
footing. No, Michael and Lucifer are on equal footing. And it has to be that way. They are the polarities of God. Okay. First thing you have to understand, okay, is the creator is everything. Okay. One of my ways they teach me, which Sean already knows, they teach me through the scriptures. Okay. When they came to me and start teaching me in 2004, okay, direct teaching from Michael and Lucifer, the stuff they would tell me, even to me, was incredible. But then they would take me into a Bible. I didn't want to get to this yet, but I'm going to have to reference it. I had never picked up a Bible or touched a Bible or read a Bible my entire life. And Sunday school was, now I don't want to read that religious, trash, nonsense. No way. I put that aside in Sunday school. But what they were teaching me was so out there, even for me, that they proved it. First they taught, and then they proved it in the Bible. I said, there's no way. Okay. And the Bible is not a religious book. It is the greatest spiritual book of truth ever written, if you could understand it. Well, I could, and I explain it to other people also. And I just went around your question you had asked, and I kind of circumvent and do this. It's the way my mind works, okay? I don't think anything. I only feel. What comes in comes out, okay? What is God? And here is the answer. What makes God a God? And there are many, and were many. I was a God. In fact, my name basically included in that is part of it is God. Okay, a God is one that has the ability to fragment and place their essence within form.
Mm-hmm.
Does that fit within you? Do you understand that?
Yeah, I think I do.
Okay, that is what a God is. That can place their essence, their spirit, okay, or a fragment of it, okay, within your flesh, within. Okay, and we started in, believe it or not, we started in worms, okay? Actually, we started in rocks, okay? Those of us that came here long time ago, as I was one of those. But a God is one who can place his spirit or a fragment of spirit within you, okay? And the God of this universe, the God of this universe, okay, which is Christ Michael, every single soul since Christ risen is fragment from that one rock. Are you with me?
I think so.
Okay. So every aspect, every one of us on this planet, okay, is an aspect of Michael, okay? Previous to Christ risen, every single entity on the planet was an aspect of Lucifer, because that's through whom the Spirit came.
Okay.
What I'm saying to you is there was a change in power. Everything understood or written before Christ risen is null and void. It doesn't work, it doesn't apply, and it makes no sense. The entire system was changed. And I use the term Christ. I'm talking about the God of this universe was created here on earth through the flesh. Okay?
So the character that we read about in the Bible, the Jesus Christ, you're saying he
Right.
was a man in flesh, he lived, he taught, because there's a lot of
yes.
that it's just an allegory for the Son and his story.
Let's talk about it. It was the form of the Son. Jesus Christ, first of all, Christ isn't his last name. Let's just use Christ, because I don't like the term Jesus. And I know let's use the term New Age people and spiritual people don't like the word God, okay? Let's call it creator, call it higher power, call it whatever you want. But the Christ was grown on earth, okay? And if we go back to the beginning and tell you how, why, who, what, for, where, what, okay? And it's a tremendous story. It's a tremendous story, okay? But the Spirit that was and became Christ, okay? Adam became Christ. Okay, 72 incarnations. That's what it took. The bloodline, okay, from Adam to Christ. And the Bible verifies this. The first man, Adam, was made a living soul. The second man was made a life-giving spirit. Okay, made. Okay, a lot of Christians want to go, oh, Jesus wasn't a created being. He was different. Wrong. Okay, if you go into the Bible, okay, in Galatians, Christ was made of a woman and made under the law. The law was Lucifer. Okay, 72 incarnations. The living soul became a life-giving spirit. Okay, that life-giving spirit rose through the wall above the firmament and created the new kingdom, which is called the kingdom of God. The previous kingdom was the kingdom of heaven. Okay, this is the world within the firmament. Okay, under the wall, George calls it a membrane. It is the kingdom of heaven, is what we reside in. Okay, the kingdom of heaven, the world that is. Okay, the kingdom of God is where all of the spiritual wealth, all souls come from the kingdom of God above the wall, above the firmament. Okay, and they are distributed from one entity, the risen Christ, which is Archangel Michael becoming Lord Michael. First time ever in the history of histories that the Creator has created a God himself of himself. Okay? You must understand that the Creator, this is above God, this is the all in all, is the light and the dark, and all of creation. There's nothing that he is not. Okay? He is the air you breathe, the ground you walk on, the food that you eat, the body that you possess. Okay? And you go into the Bible, Isaiah 45:7, and again, the religious have no conception. When I tell Christians, and I debate with them all the time, and Jewish people, when I debate with them, you have not a clue of your own book. Isaiah 45:7, I am the light and I am the dark. I make peace and I create evil.
So what is evil?
Good question. I wanted to finish this one. He has both hands, okay? Let's look at evil, okay? What is evil? There are two vibrations within this world. There are love and fear, which manifest as light and dark, which can be put into our little human thinking as good and evil, okay? Everything, there really is no such thing as evil. Evil is your best friend, okay? Let's put evil in as darkness. Let's put good as in light, okay? Let's do it that way. The Creator's system, there is a systematic process. The Creator manifests in a downward system of cause and effect, okay? Basically, everything that you can see, feel, and touch is the Creator, okay? But the Creator is passive, okay? YHVH, okay, which is God of Israel, which is Michael, which has become, okay, Christ Michael, okay, is the workhorse. He's the new logos, okay? He is active. All souls come from him. Basically, all souls come from the spirits that come from him. There's a chain and a process of order, okay? He manifests in a downward motion of cause and effect, okay? And here's how it works. To make changes in the spiritual, okay, God changes the physical. So, through you, the soul, to make changes above, it's caused in the flesh below. That's how he changes in spirits and awakens himself, is through you, the body. Okay?
Because we're normally taught it's the other way around, that things happen in the spiritual and manifest then in the physical.
Right. You have it completely, absolutely backwards. I used to teach that too. Okay? What is created in the physical manifests in the spiritual. And there's only one book I ever saw that agrees with me. And it's a little tiny book, and it's called God's Hand. And it is actually Jewish Hakirah, which is metaphysics, okay? And the teacher, it's a really tiny classic book. I couldn't believe it when I opened it, okay? And he agrees and explains it. About 4 years ago, I was sitting and meditating and listening to some guy on the radio. I had always known and tried to teach that you grow God. You understand it's humanity that grows God, and that is your highest purpose and why you're here. How do you feel about that?
Well, that was, one of my questions. Why are we here?
Okay.
Can we clarify something real quick?
Go. Yes. Go ahead, Sean.
The flesh versus spirit thing. It is true. Would you say that spirit creates into the flesh, and then that or causes something to happen in the flesh, and that bounces back as an effect into the spirit, right? I mean, it starts with spirit and then ends back into spirit. Or no? How would you clarify? Because obviously matter came from spirit originally.
Okay, let me reiterate, okay? To make changes in the spiritual, okay, those changes have to be made in the flesh. You understand, go into the polarity, Sean, if you want to talk about it. There is no evil or bad in the celestial, in which you might want to call heaven, okay? Right? In the celestial, the angelic and Christ realms, Lisa, there is no opposite polarity. There is no bad, okay? Mm-hmm. So one of the reasons you're here is to experience evil, okay? And I've only had two people ever say that. One is this guy from Phoenix, Niles McFlower, and George. You are here to experience evil. You need to experience the opposite polarity, and that cannot be done in spirit, only in the flesh. So to make changes in the spiritual, God uses, okay, the physical.
So what changes does us experiencing evil in the physical manifest in the spiritual? What ultimate changes?
Okay, but first of all, let's talk about how it works, okay? Right? We want to know how it works?
Yes.
Okay. You have two polarities, the left hand and the right hand, Michael and Lucifer, okay? You have, there are two of you. There is you, the soul, and there is you, the ego. The ego, your mind, well, here we go, Sean. Really, Lisa, you aren't you, okay? You want to maybe believe that you are, but you are not the body. It has nothing to do with what you are, okay? Mm-hmm. You are the immortal soul, okay? The flesh is a vehicle for which you are here to achieve your purpose, okay? That purpose is to grow God, and growing God, you grow yourself. You are creating yourself, okay? Now, the real you is your I am presence. This is your spirit, all of you, your solar angel, okay? That exists above the firmament in the celestial, okay?
Yep.
Okay, you are an aspect of that spirit, a fragment of it, which is a soul. Okay, souls come from spirits, okay? They're a fragment of the spirit, a reduced version that can participate, live, attached to form, okay? And there are three types of souls that are currently on this planet. There are the growers, which are the oldest and the biggest. There are the refiners, which are in the middle. They're not as large, and they carry most of the pain and suffering. And then there are the feeders or suppliers, which are all of the souls fragmented since Christ risen. They are of the finest quality, of the highest quality, but they're also the newest and the most ignorant, okay? But if we were to compare apples to apples, the refined soul that exists, and hate to say it, that most of the Christians have, or everybody in the last 2,000 years, is impeccable, okay? So those are the three soul types. Each one has a different purpose, okay? But you're here to experience evil, and it's through evil that you grow. As the Creator caused and demanded light shine out of darkness, okay? The only place light can come is out of that darkness. Okay, in experience evil, there must be an attraction to a polarity. There is no polarity above. The polarity is a below in the flesh. You have the left hand and the right hand. The ego, which is also a soul, okay, which is the mind or controller and possessor of the body, specific purpose is to create havoc, darkness, okay? And the soul's purpose is to bring light to that darkness, okay? As the Creator is all things in all aspects, first he creates or increases the darkness through man. Mankind is the evil that exists. There's nothing else evil, okay? Through man, he increases the darkness through the ego, which is its purpose, okay? The ego is actually the soul or the pair of Lucifer, okay? You are growing two entities in your body. You're growing a soul, and you're growing a soul of Lucifer. Okay, soul of God, soul of Lucifer. As you are attracted to the polarities, to, let's say, the negative. It's almost like a magnet. The soul will swing to the left, okay, and increase the darkness, okay? Now, some souls continue. I mean, darkness is where it's at. It's a lot of fun. You're talking a whole bunch of different things, okay? Sex, lust, money, all kinds of good things, okay?
Mm-hmm.
God uses two tools, pain and suffering, okay? And these tools are used to, let's go to the Bible, okay? His children, the spirits and 144,000 angels of Israel. And they were like bad, disobedient children. I know, because I am one of those. And he says, when I slew them, they would seek me. And we said, all day long, we are sheep to the slaughter. That's all that ever happens, okay? So through pain and anguish, we called upon him. The soul's purpose, and your purpose, Lisa, is to bring presence into form, bringing light to darkness. First, darkness is increased, okay? Now, you can do this if you know how, and ask God for it, and he will willingly give it to you. But most of us don't know how. And what happens, we suffer pain, suffering, and anguish. And what happens, I don't know if it's happened to you, but it happens to most of us. What happens when the pain and the suffering gets so great that you can't take it? What do you do?
Surrender, personally.
Okay, excellent. Most people will cry out to a higher power to save them.
So, well, same thing. I just surrendered to that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's when he does save you. He sends light. Okay? And light bounces the darkness. Okay? And for the moment, you're back to normal. Okay? So what has happened? He's increased the darkness, and then he sent light to balance the darkness. All in all, he's just increased himself, hasn't he? If he's the light and the dark, and the darkness has grown and light is sent to balance, creation must always be in balance. That is spiritual law, and balance must be maintained. Okay?
So unless the darkness grows, the light cannot grow.
Exactly.
So what do we do with our egos? I mean, we're told that we've got to surpass our ego. Or
I love it.
Bury our ego.
Bury it. Kill it. That's exactly what. That's exactly. I used to teach the same thing. That's exactly what we want you to be taught. And I'm making we above. I'm speaking as we above. Exactly what he wants you to do. Because the more you try to destroy your ego, you have to understand. And let's get into this. Your ego, you haven't a chance in heck. Okay, you are talking an aspect of Lucifer. Okay, that is much more canny, much smarter, much more powerful, much stronger than you, the soul, are. The ego lives in the body. Okay, most people think and are taught the soul lives in the body. Impossible. No, it does not. It is chained to the body by the golden cords. Okay, but it cannot. Almost never can the soul come into the body because of the amount of negativity. Okay, yet the purpose is, and everybody's purpose is, you go into the Bible, into Ephesians, to merge all things in heaven with all things in earth through Christ. Okay, that is our purpose, bringing light to darkness. Okay, now, most all of us, okay, one of the ways we do this is by trying to destroy ego, just as our spiritual teachers teach. Okay, keep on trying. Even Eckhart Tolle, and I think he wrote about the greatest book ever written on ego. He basically nailed it. Are you familiar with Eckhart Tolle, by the way?
I am, but I haven't read that much of his material, but I certainly know who he is and his basic
second
message.
book, and did a big thing on Oprah. He basically nailed it, that the ego is a collective consciousness. He didn't nail it to Lucifer. Maybe he wasn't sure, and I doubt that he was. Almost impossible unless you're a demon. You wouldn't know, okay? But he nailed it as a separate consciousness from God. And see, now the ego holds all the keys. My ego is called Alfie. Sean's is called Clarky. I have to beat Clark down just about once a day, right? Because he is a frisky little demon. He is. He's not yet in my league, so I have power over him, and I have to beat him out of Sean. And this is big. I mean, to tell you that you aren't you, and there's something else that really is you. In fact, when Lucifer and I stood face to face, and when it first came to me, I was terrified. And I've never been scared of anything. I was shaking. I said, oh my God, now that I know this, who else knows this? No one. Okay, well, am I going to be destroyed because of it? No. So can I tell him about it? Go ahead. They'll just laugh, And I said, okay. But you want me to tell them? Yes, I do. Okay, they have to understand. I said, okay. So look at it this way. Assume you have Archangel Michael on the right holding a big, long rope. And on the left, you have Archangel Lucifer. Okay? And now, light shines out of darkness, which means darkness is there first. You need the darkness to create light. Okay? The flesh is also darkness. As Paul talks about in the Bible, you are sown in corruption. You means the soul. You are raised in glory. You are sown in a natural body. You are raised in a spiritual body. That's directly out of 1 Corinthians 15. Okay? So Lucifer yanks this big rope, and he pulls it across the line. Like I said before, he pulls it 3 feet. Okay? Creation is out of balance. Okay? Michael grabs it and yanks it back. Okay? Each time it's pulled and yanked between the polarities, they're almost like a generator. Okay? Right? God grows. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Right? As the darkness grows and light is sent to balance, the Creator grows. What's happening basically is the Creator is awakening himself, because he is all there is. There's nothing else really. Okay? He is awakening himself through you.
One of the reasons Eckhart Tolle may not have gone there is the word Lucifer. Just the name sends shivers down most people's spines, and it's all lumped into one basket. Is the term Lucifer, the term Satan, Luciferians, and Satanists?
Let's leave that. Ooh, I cringe when you Satan or the devil. He knows how I get. You're going to get Alfie up.
But that's what we're taught. They're the same. We're taught they're the same thing. That Lucifer and Satan are the same thing.
Yes, you are. You're taught that. I mean, hey, I have taught Christians with hardcore upbringings, and they refuse to use the word Satan or devil anymore. They call it Lucifer. Lucifer was the first logos. Lucifer was, what the name means, right? Light bearer, light of God.
Yeah.
The brightest of lights, okay, translating, okay? And a lot of people will say there is no Lucifer, okay, because technically it's a reference to the planet Venus, okay? However, there is, and I know him. Lucifer and Samael, okay, technically are almost one and the same, okay? You've heard Samael before, right?
Mm-hmm.
Archangel Samael, the god Samael. Well, he's one of the 12, and what his name means here, you want to have shivers? I'll tell you, shivers, young lady. The venom of God.
Lucifer.
How does that work? No, Samael. The venom of God. That is the translation of the Hebrew. I speak Hebrew, by the way. I don't know why it happened, but I had to learn it and ended up in Israel as a kid. And wow. But yeah, Samael means the venom of God. There are those that want to interpret it as God of the blind or the blind God. No. In fact, what's his face does that? Who's the guy with the $12 Sitchin, right? Blind God. Nope. Yeah. The venom of God, the enforcer. When I was in Egypt as a demon, because we all were, basically we were takton under the firmament. They're takton and alyon. Alyon is above the firmament, angels. Takton is demons. These are angels under the firmament or wall, basically demons. And one of the things in those days, we're always trying to find better bodies. Back in the day, I'm talking Egypt and before, it was very hard to stay in a body for any length of time, okay? We didn't have the form yet until God came up with the Hebrews, okay? We did not have the form. So any good demon was always looking for a better body than his, okay? And we would take them. I mean, just like Invasion of the Body Snatchers, if I was strong enough, I would put you out and I would take your clothes, okay? Mm-hmm. Kind of like taking your lunch money, okay?
So possession by demons was a real thing.
Oh, big time real. I can tell you exactly how it works. I have pages on it that I wrote. I can tell you exactly how it works when I was a demon and how we did it. Oh, yes, very much so. Okay? But what we really want is some food, okay? Right? And we don't want you to know that we're there because you'll spoil it. Okay, but let's getting away from that right now. I can see Clarky's smiling pictures. Wait, maybe you're getting too hard with her. Just trying to tell you the truth, Lisa. Okay, but anyways, I'm trying to tell you a great story. If you read through the Bible and you have any awareness whatsoever, and there are 4 levels to biblical reading. Okay,
I've heard this.
There's the simple, the homiletical, okay, the metaphorical, and the spiritual mystical. Most of your Christian scholars read the first 2 basic levels. Okay, very few read the 3rd level, and almost none at the 4th level. But it's the 3rd and 4th level. When you understand the metaphors, then the whole Bible makes sense. And then when you get to the mystical, spiritual level of the Bible, you come to realize this isn't any religious book. that is the whole truth of God. Everything about everything is in there. He tells you the how, the why, the what has changed, what will be. Okay.
Can the same be said for the books of other religions?
Be specific.
Well, the Quran or...
Okay. Yes and no. There's a lot of good stuff in the Quran. Okay. See, I haven't.
Because this, I mean, to say that it's the Bible and only the Bible.
Keep in mind, it's not just the Bible. He's also talking about the Gnostic scriptures and all the other scriptures they found that they excluded. Did he get cut off again?
I think he did. Yes.
Oh my goodness! It's when I talk.
They're trying. It's callback. Okay, are we there?
There you are. Is it when I talk?
Must be.
Jeez, I need to stay to writing. He might have. I told you his connection's not the best.
Yeah.
Oh, am I not? Are you not hearing me?
Oh, we are now.
We
Got you back.
We got you now.
Oh, missing the best part. Okay, there are no soulmates. There are no twin flames. Throw all that romantic stuff out. You are your own soulmate. Okay.
Hang on, back up. How did we get to soulmates?
Wait, we were talking about scriptures. We were talking about
the Quran. Quran says,
true.
Oh, yeah.
Every soul has an angel. Okay, don't interrupt, Alfie. Okay, every soul has an angel. The Quran says that. I haven't read much of the Quran. I tried to, but they teach me through the Bible. Okay, and that's the only book they let me read unless they suggest. And I've read a lot of the Gnostic stuff, and a lot of the Apocrypha, Pseudographia, and yeah, I mean, I know them all by heart. But one thing I resonate with in Quran is every soul has an angel. Okay, your spirit above the firmament, where you come from, who created you, is your angel, your solar angel. Okay. And then I went into soulmates. No soulmates. Nah. No twin flames. You are your own soulmate. Okay. The other part of you, that you're the self that you seek. Okay. And that all of you is up above the wall. Okay. That is your I am presence, your solar angel. Okay. That you're seeking. Okay. That is your soulmate. You are the soul that you seek. Okay.
That's going to blow a lot of people away who believe they've found their twin flame or their soulmate.
And a lot of people don't like it. Okay, right. I mean, I know it is. Okay, and I probably should have left it out. But if you're going to, John's laughing. Yeah, we went through this a couple of weeks ago. If you're going to get the truth, you're going to get the whole truth. You are your own soulmate. Okay. Now there is soul groups. Okay, Lisa. There are a lot of people. Okay. Hey, there was a time, Lisa, I was looking for my soulmate, and I knew I was going to find her until she started talking to me from above, and her name, which is also my spirit, is Alana. Allfaaraa, Alana. And boy, she has a beautiful voice and everything. And she kind of explained it to me. I said, so you're there and I'm here. Yes, sweetheart, hurry back. I said, okay. How long have we been apart? Eons. Okay. But there are soul groups. Okay. We incarnate as groups. Okay. And soul groups are matched up to eye color. Okay. Mine are yellow and blue. I present the colors of Michael, the blue and the gold. Okay. You will see and come into contact with people that have the same eye and the same retina color. Okay. They're of your soul group. And a lot of times the souls incarnate together in families. Okay. And every single person you come in contact with, okay, and have any dealings with is someone you have known before. But again, you have soul groups. Okay, you have of the same spirit, okay? But understand this too, that every soul has an angel and every angel has a soul. The soul is the consciousness of your spirit in form. Your I am presence, or all of you, your solar angel, the great you above the firmament, okay, could not, just as the creator can't be, could not be manifest into this form. You are a shrunken version, okay, a scaled down, lowered version. But in reality, you are the consciousness of your angel experiencing in the form. Why does the creator know everything? Why they say, oh, God knows what you do if you're good or bad. Why is that? Because he's in you, right? Mm-hmm. He's in you. Of course he knows everything that's going on. Okay, you are the consciousness, okay, of your angel in form. That is what's happening. So everything that you do at every moment is experienced there also, okay? What you are doing here in the flesh is being subject to the polarities right and left, both first darkness and then light, okay? And you are growing. As you grow, the spirit grows above, okay? And as that spirit grows, right? Its Lord grows. And as that Lord grows, the Creator grows times 6 billion times. I'm telling you, the only way to create yourself above is down here in the flesh. And it is standing room only up there. And our time is short, okay? Our time is short. Eventually, we'll get into talking about ascension, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you what I know, and I know a lot, okay?
There's just a couple of questions I have
Yes.
before we move on to anything else.
Ask all of them.
You've talked of demons, of being a demon, and
Yes.
I still want a bit more clarification around
I never
the
finished.
Satan sort of.
Okay, go ahead.
Why? How can I put this?
First
So
of all,
we see the New World Order and the Illuminati, and these individuals who are accused of being Luciferian or satanic.
Right,
it's always you
Sure.
know, the same thing, and
Negative,
child
sure.
worshipping and sacrificing,
Yep,
and
sure.
all of that stuff, and being demonic. So all of these terms get thrown in together.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
So what is
Yes,
a
they do.
demon? Where did it come from? What's its purpose?
Okay. Let's talk what a demon really is, okay? But you know, your questions bring up another question, like child sacrifices. You know, I have this statement with people that discuss the Bible all the time. What kind of God is this? He had them sacrifice and kill all the children, okay? And basically, again, it's a translation. You sacrifice your children. The actual words in Hebrew is threw them into the fire, okay? Subjected them to incarnation, okay? Lucifer is the fire. Okay, let's go to demons, okay? A demon is an angel, okay, that exists within this world, under the firmament.
Mm-hmm.
Every single person, okay, Lisa, are you ready for this? Don't hang up on me. At one time in your creation, you have been a demon. Everybody starts in the darkness. Now, let me tell you what a demon is and what a demon does, because what you have come to understand what it is horrible and bad. No. Alfie is my demon. He lives inside of me. Clarky is Sean's demon. He lives inside of him. Okay?
There he goes.
A demon serves the darkness. Okay, that is his purpose. Angels serve the light. Both are necessary to maintain balance to ensure the growth of the Creator. The demon's purpose is not to eat little children and be evil like we see in movies and all that we're taught. The demon's purpose is to increase the darkness. Do you understand?
I do.
That is his purpose. Not by killing, not by being bad, not by being evil. Okay? Right? Okay. Basically, all demons will become angels. You, my dear, started as a demoness. We all start out that way. I started as a demon, okay? I was one of the first, all those left behind to follow Lucifer. Yeah, we came here for a reason. We got the shaft. What we thought was going to happen didn't happen, okay? But a demon's purpose is to expand the darkness. But to do so, a demon needs a body. Now, it used to be, again, before Christ, everything changed. All the rules changed with Christ risen. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
All of them changed. The way God is different. The Spirit is different. Everything is different. So all these people preaching oneness and all this stuff, oh, that's just great. Except it isn't so. YHVH, okay? Jehovah, whatever they want to try and put words to it, you know, Yahweh. Oh, I hate that one. That's like Satan. Might as well say Satan when you say Yahweh. No such thing, okay? YHVH. It carries the Hebrew consonants and verbs to become, okay? YHVH became. He became Christ, okay? We are here to become, okay? That is why everybody's here, to become. We're not one yet, okay? Other people, we're one. No, you're not. Why are you here? You will become one, okay? Right? But you are not yet one, okay? I am not yet. Allfaaraa is above the firmament. I am an aspect of the great and mighty angel Allfaaraa and Tara Amara. But I am not him, okay? I am creating myself through form to be his child. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I think so.
Okay? God speaks of his children. His children were the souls, okay? His children were the souls. We won't go into that there now, okay? But a demon's purpose was to create darkness. Okay.
How do they do it?
To grow and increase that darkness. Okay. The darkness is first. Out of darkness comes light. Okay.
That actually makes perfect sense to me.
My God.
Oh,
Sean, are you
that.
speaking? Was that you? Or
He loves that.
Sean says that. To Sean, it has to make sense. And I tell him, it doesn't need to make sense. Why? How can it possibly make sense to you? If I'm here and you're there, when God says, how can it make sense? But to Sean, good. I'm glad you said that. Perfect sense.
So when it comes to Satan, that's purely a man-made...
Let's talk about Satans. No. Actually, there were Satans. Actually, it's Satan in Hebrew. And God had many Satans. They were loyal servants of him, okay, to create havoc and increase. Satans are demons, okay? Ha-Satan means the adversary or enemy in Hebrew. That's what Satan means, adversary or enemy, okay? Mm-hmm. Following. Okay, so there were many Ha-Satans that were loyal servants of God, the creator God, not YHVH, the Son, okay? God is creator. YHVH was the Son. Okay, the God of Israel was the Son who became Christ, God of this universe. I could take you into the other Bible, into we'll talk about the Apocrypha, Jewish Apocrypha, Hebrew Apocrypha, the Essenes, the war of the sons of light versus the sons of darkness. Okay,
this is the great war in heaven.
But no, after it. This is apocryphic writings like Gnostic stuff, let's call it. Mm-hmm. Except it's Hebrew Gnostic stuff. It's called pseudographia, okay? And it talks about, it's from the Dead Sea Scrolls, okay? The war of the sons of light versus the sons of darkness, okay? Now, my books have been in storage for 3 months, so I pull it out and quote you. And it talks about Michael being made God. Okay, and basically the God of Israel become God to the universe. Okay, flat out describes it. In fact, I can see where my books are. I could pull it out and read it for you, but we'll do that for another time. But it basically says Michael, the God of Israel, will become the God of this universe. Okay, and it was funny. I was directed to that like I didn't believe that Michael was God. I already knew that. Well, read it, and then we'll see how much more you feel it. Okay. But yes, it does make perfect sense. I understand. But demons, okay, are angels that are below the firmament, okay? And the purpose is to turn all demons into angels, okay? To merge all things in heaven with all things on earth, okay? We have to, again, this goes into, this is years and years of stuff I'm trying to cram into this little interview with you. And it's so hard. Okay, are there evil demons? Okay, yeah, I did some pretty evil, nasty things. Okay, no, did I eat babies or kill anything like that? No, but I stole bodies and I created havoc. Okay, and that was my purpose. And I never did finish the incident with Samael, okay, the venom of God. Okay, and he basically was, let's call him Lucifer's enforcer, as well as Michael's enforcer. Okay, and the number one thing that you couldn't do in the old days is be caught out of a body. The Hebrews, the angels, the 144,000 that were the spirits and angels of Israel, were actually chained to the bodies, okay, by the cord, okay? So he had enough of body switching, okay? That was not going to happen in the new system, okay? When we first refragmented souls at Mount Sinai coming out of Egypt, okay, no more no soul in the body stuff. We're going to chain you to it. And that's what the Bible talks about as your prison. You're chained to your prison. The Bible actually talks about in Ecclesiastes the silver cord that connects soul and body. It actually talks about that. And I taught that in the 80s in my metaphysics classes. Your astral body, soul, is actually connected by a silver cord. Yeah, it is. Okay, so my life as a demon in Egypt, I remember walking with Ananiel, that is the name of another angel, and he and I argue. He's above the firmament now. We always argue about me telling you, humanity, the truth. And we can argue all we want. I'm still going to do it. But anyways, bodies were very hard to stay in a body any length of time. Maybe 2, 4, 6 to 8 hours a day was magnificent. Okay? Outside of the body, you're doing nothing. Okay? You cannot build your realm. You cannot create your universe. And you cannot affect the all of you without being in the flesh, subject to the draw. Okay? You saw the movie Matrix? Mm-hmm. Okay? Copper Top? Okay? Just remember when they were he was in the car and they were driving under the bridge and she called him a copper top? She says it to Neo. The little blonde calls Neo a copper top.
Mm-hmm.
When she's holding the gun. Okay. You're a battery for God. That's exactly what you do. Sean, you want to explain that part with the battery and in the carbon and all that? Can you do that?
And we're batteries for ourselves, which...
Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, that was something else I wanted to touch on from what you said before, is that it's one of our purposes is we generate some sort of energy, right? George calls them energy streams out to various places in the universe, back to our home place or, back to our original self.
Your spirit above the firmament. That substance, let's call it a mixture, okay, is carried up and down every night, okay, by your spirit, your solar angel. You create a substance which God takes. Even science tells us that the universe is ever expanding. You've heard that before, right?
Yep.
It's constantly growing. How's it growing? Okay, it's growing through you. You grow God. The substance that you generate here in the form is taken and used to build universes. You are the co-creator with God in building everything that there is. Okay, what you produce, God uses to create and build other universes. Okay, you are that important. That's why you're here. Okay. Shiver, shiver. What was that? What?
No, it made me think of something in terms of the teachings of that we are made in God's image.
Oh, good. Okay, well, that's one of my points. Okay. You ready to hear the truth? Okay. Here it is.
Well, tell her the Hebrew too. What it says.
Okay. Okay. The two words are Bitzalmenu and Kidmotenu. Okay? That's very flowery Hebrew. Okay? It's not what common day Hebrew is, but it's very flowery. Okay? Basically, it comes from Genesis 1:11. Let us make man in our image as our Let us make man in our image.
As our image, right?
No, I'm going to give her the truth in a minute. Okay. Well, anyways, here's the true translation. Okay. Let us make man with our image, because the bet in Hebrew can be in or with. Let us make man with our image as our shape.
Or form.
Yeah. Kidmoteno. Ki means as. Muteno, form or shape. Okay. So the true translation is, let us make man with our image. God's image is Christ. Okay. If you do read the Bible, the word or logos, God's image is the logos, which is an exact replica, an icon or caricature in Greek, an exact image of him. The first thing the Creator did was recreate himself. This is the logos. Okay? The first one was Lucifer. Then he recreated himself again, and that was Michael. Okay? The stout son, as he's called to his friends. Lucifer's reference, to those who know him, is mighty, mighty. And Michael's is power. Or the stout son. A lot of people refer to him that way. Okay? Yet the stout son is composed of 12 archangels. Okay? Right? Oriel, the light of God. Gabriel, the might of God. A lot of people translate it is the strength of God. It actually is the might of God, or God is my might. Okay? Samael, the venom of God. Raphael, God is my beauty. Tzadkiel, the correctness or righteousness of God. Okay? Raziel, a scary one. Okay? Hanael, the victory of God. By the way, the Jewish people believe the deliverer will come out of Zion. Zion is the kingdom of God above the firmament. They don't believe Jesus is the Mashiach. You understand that, right?
Yep.
Right. Do not believe it. There's another one that will come, okay? And the deliverer will come, and it's true, okay? The deliverer will come out of the kingdom of heaven. Now, the kingdom of heaven is everything below the firmament. The kingdom of God is the kingdom above the firmament, okay? Lucifer is the God of the kingdom of heaven. Okay, and we'll get to that in one quick second, okay, because I know you want those answers. Okay, but the deliverer is Hanael. Okay, Hanael basically is taken over from Michael, okay, since he became Christ. Hanael is the new leader of the host, and his name in Hebrew means Nitzach, or victory. Okay, Hanael is the victory of God. And by the way, Oriel is God is my light, or light of God, and his twin brother Uriel, okay, Uriel, means God is my strength. Okay, Gabriel in Hebrew, Gever El, God is my might. Okay, Gibur, means mighty, okay? Giburim, mighty of God, okay? But anyways, back to Lucifer. He is one. Michael is all 12 in one, all 12 archangels, the stout one of God, the mighty of God. Yet, it's a stalemate, okay? And isn't Michael more powerful? Isn't he the Christ? Lucifer is much, much larger. That is the difference, okay? Lucifer was the light bearer. All souls, all spirits, well, there were no souls. All spirits, all wealth of the Creator came through Lucifer. Up, even the Hebrews, even Israel. That's why Christ stands there and calls them, you are of your father, the devil, right? Most of them didn't understand what he was talking about. And most people still don't, okay? Yes, when Adam made the choice of the two trees, you had the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, and you had the tree of light. One was Christ, and one was Lucifer. Lucifer is the tree, okay? And he said to them, if you eat the fruit are souls, if you eat the fruit of my tree, you will become like gods, knowing both good and evil. Before Mount Sinai, God created gods. That's what he did, made replicas of himself and sent them off to increase him. Mount Sinai was the first time that souls were fragmented from him and distributed to the Hebrews. There were no souls before Mount Sinai. There were only living souls. Okay, everything before that, you were a spirit. Okay.
What's the difference?
There were no souls.
What do you mean by a living soul? Is it?
Okay, a living soul was a direct fragment of God, the Creator. Okay? Adam was a living soul. Adam was, in reality, every single bit. You have to understand, this is after the war in heaven spilled down to earth. The first thing God did, and this is the good part, okay? He says, okay, I'm Nephil, okay? I'm Nephilim. You understand that. It's in Genesis 6. And the Nephilim were around in those days, okay? When the sons of God came to the daughters of men and had babies with them and all this and that. Nephilim, a lot of people think means giants, right?
Yeah.
I think you've heard that. Nope. Okay? Nephilim contains the Hebrew word verb nafal, NFL, Nephilim, NFL. That is the root. And it means to fall or fallen. We are the fallen. Okay? That's what a Now, Nephil, which is the short version, Nephilim is plural. Nephil actually has another translation, which means tyrant. Okay? And yes, we were tyrant and demon. They kind of go hand in hand. Do you get it? Okay? And if you want to look at them as giants, yes, we were giants in a spiritual sense. Okay? So all of them were spirits. There were no souls or fragments until it was fragmented. Okay? Spirits was all that there was, and basically gods. All of these foreign gods, Baal, Dakar, I mean, I could name 30 of them, Baal, Nevo, okay, from Babylon. We came here for a purpose. We came here to grow the kingdom of heaven, okay? And out of the kingdom of heaven, a God would be chosen, okay? Isaiah 14. Okay, this is the one Christians all use, and you've heard, and they all use to make Lucifer the bad guy. Look what he says. I will build my kingdom above the stars of God. Okay, stars are angels. Okay, that's the metaphor. So Lucifer's saying, I will build my kingdom above the angels of God. But that's the purpose. That's what all of us came here to do. And whoever had the biggest kingdom won. Okay? That was the purpose. Okay? Okay, to build the kingdom of God through the kingdom of heaven. The kingdom of heaven is this world. Everything created inside, within the firmament, is the kingdom of heaven. And Lucifer stated the spiritual truth. This is what we came here to do. Okay?
So can you get into the war in heaven? Who it was between?
Yes.
And why?
Okay. That's how it started. Remember, you have to understand that my spirit and your spirit really is, you have a physical body up there too, right? Do you know what that is? It is the star that you are. Your physical body above you are the consciousness of a star. There's one out there with your name on it. Maybe Lisa, may not be. Yeah, I'm joking, of course. But your physical form up there is a star. Your body, by the way, is made of 98, 99% stardust. You do know that too, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Your body is a physical star. Solara also believes that, the real deal Solara. Okay, Solara Antara Amara. okay, and others. But let's talk about the war in heaven. It has to go to how God works, okay? And, there's this big thing that God does not need man, okay? No, he's God, don't need man for everything. False, okay? Without man to manifest in, right, what would God have, okay? Why is he my God? Because his spirit is in me, okay? Okay, we're created for a purpose. The purpose is for God to manifest himself within the creation. It took a long time to get to this form, which we have genetically mutated. I have participated in this for millions and millions of years. Genetically mutated this form, okay, to be able to carry a higher essence of spirit, okay? So God's purpose is to grow through each and every one of his creations. He awakens himself through himself. Okay?
Yep.
He is both the cause and the effect. Karma is the system. I need to go through this first before I get to the war in heaven, okay? Or you won't understand. Okay? Nobody will. Okay. God has three things affect the system that's in place. Incarnation or reincarnation, karma, and free will. Okay? The karma that you've earned in the last lifetime, you are working off in this lifetime. Okay? Until you get to the point which is on a 9 scale where you have no more karma. Okay, but you're working off all karma from a past life, from last life in this lifetime. Okay, what ensures that? See, some people seek spiritual ascension. Okay, some people do nothing. Okay, how does God ensure that no matter what, he continually grows? He has a system in place. That system is karma. Karma is divine. Okay, cause and effect. Okay, now between the polarities. Okay, the darkness is increased, you make some bad choices. The free will allows you to choose God or not choose God at any time. Okay, there's a difference between free will and freedom of choice. We're not sitting here talking about McDonald's or Burger King. Do they have those in Australia?
Unfortunately, yes.
Oh, they do? Okay. We're not talking free will. I've gotten in debates with people, no, free will is not the choice of Burger King and McDonald's. That's freedom of choice. Free will is choosing God or not choosing God, choosing darkness over light. Okay. As one chooses, okay, your karma is guaranteed to be worked off because even if you don't, the ego will make the choice to enforce the cause that ensures an effect. Okay. So karma guarantees that you will grow even if you don't do anything, Lisa. You can be, an atheist and still serve God. That's why I tell these guys, I don't believe in God. You don't have to, right? You still serve. Everybody serves. If you're in form, you are serving the Creator. And how are you serving him? You're growing him. But in growing him, you're growing yourself also. That's how it works. When you align the purposes, yours and his, okay, boom, that's when stuff starts happening. We're talking ascension, okay? If you know how things work, okay, because you understand, and I know I'm getting away from this because of the magnitude, but most of the channels and spirits and people talking, not everybody's ready to ascend. Do you understand that, right?
Yeah.
And what about all those people that don't have this frequency or the ability to ascend? What then? And we'll get into that. But when I get done telling you what I have to tell you, I'll show you how you can. You don't have to be subject to the form. Stand up and be counted, okay? Make a choice, okay? You are being used, okay? You're playing the game of God. You don't even know that there's any rules, and you don't even know that you're playing, okay? You're absolutely blind, okay? But if you know your purpose, know why you're here, and know how you don't have to go through the system. Karma is divine. It ensures that no matter what you do, and if you don't do anything, you will still grow, and so will God. Okay, free will, reincarnation, and you will reincarnate and reincarnate and reincarnate and reincarnate until you're finally there. That's the long way, but there's the short way, straight up and down, the blue path. Okay.
Well, I want you to tell me the blue path after you've told me about the war in heaven.
We will. We will.
Keep him on point.
I'm trying to keep him back on point.
Okay, let us go to the war in heaven. Now, let us understand what God's purpose is. God's purpose, he's in the business. And why do I know this? Because I'm an angel. Okay? I know them all. I know them all by name. Not all of them, but most of them. Okay? And God's purpose is to get larger. He is in the business of growing. I'm trying to, not just for you, but all my students, I try and bring it down to Not a lot of big, great words and all this stuff. So everybody can understand. God's purpose is getting bigger. And how he does that is by projecting or manifesting himself into the forms that he creates. Okay? That's why there is duality, but yet there is no duality. Okay? God's system is that of duality. He grows himself. Your body is the soil. The soul is the seed. Okay? The seed grows in the soil. Okay? That is your flesh. Okay, that is what grows the seed until the seed becomes a tree, and the tree becomes an orchard, and the orchard becomes, it's an up, 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 up. One day you will create and rule a universe, yes. Okay, God's business is to increase. Okay, and what is his goods? What is God's business? It is spirit. That is the only thing he deals in. Okay, so it started like this. Okay, I'm going to make it kind of laughable because it's so serious. Okay, we're sitting around, let's call it in the celestial eons ago, I don't know, 5, 10 billion. I can't tell you time, but I was, and it was. We need to do something. Okay, let me first tell you how God works. Okay, I was actually getting sidetracked. I was going to tell you about the call to come down to earth, to come into form, to build our realms. Now, this is before that. Okay, God, the Bible uses the term grain. Grain is the raw spirit. He has grain, oil, wine, a lot of things. Okay, Jacob, when he was going to go to Egypt, says they have grain in Egypt. Yeah, that's the only place that had spirit. God hands out his, let's call it raw spirit, his base spirit. Okay, and the point was, okay, you would take that. Okay, it came through Lucifer. Okay, Lucifer, all of God's raw spirit went to Lucifer. You then would take that. Okay, and use it to place into form, whichever realm you were in, whichever planet, whichever star system, to place into form to increase it, okay, right, and refine it, okay. As you increase it, the cut was supposed to be God gets, let's say 10%, let's call it, okay.
Okay.
Well, what happened? Okay, this is the bad part, and I hate to say it about my first father, okay. The percentage, the tithe, whatever you want to call it, was collected, okay, and but it was never returned, okay. So God lends you his spirit to grow it, make it larger, okay. In turn, you grow your own realm, okay, right. Our purpose when we left with Lucifer was to grow our realms above through the flesh below, okay. That is how it works, okay. We can expand ourselves in, okay. Here, let me show you how it works. Okay, I'm a spirit, okay, and every single thing, what makes me a god, is the ability to fragment and place my essence into form. So you take the god of the Philistines, okay? They had a god. It was different from the god of the Hebrews. And that god placed his spirit, his essence, a fragment of his spirit, into their flesh. The more fragments you had in flesh, the bigger you became. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Okay, that's how it worked. Okay, but a percentage of that was supposed to go back to the Creator. Okay, it didn't happen. Okay, and it got to the point where, even though the Creator is everything that you see and a lot that you don't see, what he's doing is awakening parts of himself through the process of you. Okay, it is you that refines and awakens the spirit that awakens the Creator in different areas. Right now, he may be awakening the foot. Before, it might have been the knee or the arm or the eye. Yeah, I know it sounds like that, but the Bible's got it right when he talks about, you're the nose and this is the hand. We're all members one of another. We are. Okay? Okay. It also goes into 2 Corinthians 19 that those below feed those above and create God, okay? God is grown through what he receives from those below. I mean, that's in the Bible too. I got to take you through that because that's how I'm taught. It makes such perfect sense. But anyways, we're in heaven. Okay, so it got to the point where there was nothing left to give because nothing was left to be returned, okay? So those of us that were left, okay, some mighty, 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 mighty angels, okay, had to go and get it, okay? And how do you get it back, okay? Okay? And the Bible explains a lot of this. How do you get it back? There's two ways. Okay? We destroy all of the forms. Okay, spirit returns to its original source. Spirit not attached to matter, okay, will return to its original source. For example, if I come out of this body, I will return to Allfaaraa. Okay, if I have the ability to match vibration and pierce the firmament, okay, to enter the celestial. Okay, I believe I have that. Okay, but spirit returns. Now, this is before the astral. There was no astral. Astral wasn't created that long ago. Okay, spirit returns without a form. This is why you always had to be in your form. Okay, spirit returns to its original source. Okay, that original source and highest source is the Creator itself. So, and this will tie into ascension, and the Earth becoming a star, and all this other great stuff, and what's really happening. Okay, this is the Creator's ace in the hole. Okay, this is very serious stuff right now.
Good.
The spirit or soul returns to its original Creator. Okay. At that point, the original Creator was only one, the Creator Himself. Okay. So, if we destroy you, what happens? He gets it. Right, but except the spirit. If we destroy the matter, the spirit which is attached to it, you have to understand, a star has consciousness. A planet has consciousness. We were those consciousness. And all the creation of it. Okay? All of the creations that are on a planet, okay?
I think it's a train going
spirit.
by.
Was that what it is? Okay.
Yeah.
All have spirit attached to matter. Okay. So, the war was about returning what was rightfully God's and collecting it and hunt them down. Wow.
Oh, that's pretty loud.
Okay. So you don't want them to hear this? You don't want Lisa to hear this? I'm just going to tell her anyway, so it don't matter. Okay. Believe me, there are a lot of great and good angels above that do not want me to tell you this stuff. And I haven't even got into the good stuff, Lisa. We're just touching the edges, okay?
I have a feeling we'll be doing a few follow-ups.
The created in God's image thing, it's the biggest. Okay, the truth is, I have to sidestep. Sean, bring me back to where we were about the war in heaven. But the truth is a lie. The interpretation, and here's is what I argue with a lot of the angels above. I said, it's a lie. You let humanity is about to be not the vessel of choice any longer. Let me just say that to you. There is another vehicle that can entertain multiple aspects, okay, that has been developed for a long time and is just about ready. There is another area of space, let's call it, that can be seeded, okay? And this is what the whole ascension thing is about, from the God's point of view, is recovering every bit of wealth. And there are several ways he can do it, okay? And let me let that go for right now. But there is another form. But it goes back to God has made it. It's a lie. It's a lie, okay? And I argue with the angels all the time. Well, it's not really a lie. It is a lie because you let them believe it. We are not made in God's image, okay? That's ridiculous. We're made with his image as his shape or form. And that's exactly true. We are the form that God takes to reside in, okay? If you read the Bible, it talks about Jesus, okay, says the reapers are angels when he came here to harvest, okay, to harvest the spiritual wealth, okay? And the sower is God. And then he talks about during the reaping, both sower and reaper will be glad together. This is in John 6. And I first saw that and I about wet my pants. I said, you're kidding me. Where does that leave me? Where does that leave me, Ed, okay? Where am I? Where's Alf? Okay, well, Alf's okay, right? But where does that leave me, Ed? Okay? If sower and reaper are glad together, that is, sower is God, and reaper is the angel. What happens to me, the body, the person? Are you catching my drift, Lisa?
I think so.
Okay. Go back to the war in heaven. Go ahead.
You may want you may want to go back and clarify. There's something we missed about the 9 generations, and then they got cleansed, and then 9 more and cleansed. That's something we didn't talk about, is the genetic process that happened.
No, we got into that. Well, Lisa hasn't asked it. She's got to ask for me to get it. That's why I wanted to stick to the bullet points. But that's okay. This is the first.
I'm only asking. I'm only asking because it clarifies.
Yeah, I know. Right, but it's 4 years worth of teachings, right? And we're going so out of order. But I mean,
True.
he is the interviewee, right? You understand? And
True.
no, you are right. We should and we can go and stick to each little segment kind of covers it in order. But no, let's go to the war in heaven. So it was to recover what was the creators, okay? And all of the angels that were left, okay? And there weren't that many, okay, that hadn't left with Lucifer. Okay, before we came down to the earth, okay, the Bible says they left with Lucifer. No, we went everywhere else first, okay? Every planet we could. And you put your essence in a planet, you manifest into each and every form. This is what a god is. A god is able to place himself into form, okay? Now, the greatest form was your human body, and the greatest of the greatest was Adam, okay? That was a new creation, okay? The way to get it back is to ask the other angels or demons to give it up, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Then, if not, we slowly proceed to kill off every form that you're in, okay? And as we kill off your form, be it dirt, be it a worm, be it a microbe, be it anything, as we kill it off, it returns to God. You ever heard of the planet Marduk?
Mm-hmm.
So one of the ones we had to destroy the entire planet to get Samael to give it back. And he wouldn't, okay? And that was a shame. The entire planet was destroyed. It then spilled down into form, okay? So it was all about recovering what is God's. The way to get it out is to kill, okay, or destroy everything it's attached to, okay? And you do that by overwhelming presence. What, do we actually shoot bullets at each other? No. Do we throw lightning bolts? No. Okay, in some cases, weather, yes. But it's overmatched presence. Basically, I absorb you, okay? Do you understand? Light does swallow darkness, okay? So you overmatch. As in Egypt, I was able to steal somebody else's body by taking it away from them. It's the same thing. Overmatching presence, okay?
You've just made me think of something, which is here we are talking about. You've said the light consumes, and that everything everything in form needs to be destroyed, so that the energy is then freed from it, right? The attachment is
so that not the energy, but the spirit.
The spirit.
Okay, energy is spirit.
Yeah.
Right. Energy is spirit. Same thing. Consciousness. Okay.
Now we're in
two type.
Well, now we're in a period where the sun.
Mm-hmm.
Is this what you're getting to? Is that the sun is certainly...
I knew that would be where you were getting to, though. Didn't I tell you, Sean? She wants to go, right? She wants to go to the end and hear what's happening.
Everyone wants to know what's going to happen.
Let me give you this. Let me give you the end now, and let's do this, Lisa. Let me finish with the war in heaven, though, okay?
Well,
and then we
please,
give you the end.
Yeah.
Okay. So what happened? It spilled down to the earth, okay? And, the Anunnaki and all this, right? Yeah, they were here, right? Kicked them out, too. Kicked them all out, okay? What happened was this, okay? It came to where God says the only way the earth was created, okay, as the sacred ground, the kingdom of heaven, which was going to be used to grow the essence of God alone, his planet, okay? By the way, a lot of the old Catholics, that thought that the earth was the center of the universe, right? And really it's the sun. Nope. The firmament, or the wall, George calls the membrane, is directly around the earth. The earth is the soil of the kingdom of heaven. And the celestial realm is the throne. My throne is above, my footstool is the earth. The center of this world is the earth. The wall is built around the earth, not the sun. Okay? The wall is a direct circle that is perfect from every angle, whether in your Japan or Australia. Okay? The wall is the same distance. The earth is the center of the universe, of God's universe. Okay? Not of the universe, but of this world. In this world, let me tell you what this world incurs. Everything that you see out to about the Pleiades, Sirius, and not quite my star. My star is above the firmament. But the Pleiades are included in this world. So is Sirius. But extends out that far. That is this world that is all called the kingdom of heaven. Okay? So it's spilled down to the earth. Okay? So finally, God, in not wanting us to destroy the planet after Marduk, said, here's what we'll do. We'll have a pole switch. We will cleanse the earth. Okay? And that will kill them all, and they will return to me. Okay? And we'll have to do nothing. Well, was it 250 million years or so? I mean, if you want to put it in time-wise, the earth stood covered in water. Okay? But the water is spirit. Okay, water is the metaphor for spirit in the Bible. Okay, and he says the waters covered the earth. Okay, and God separated the waters above, the spirits above, from the spirits below. He then placed the rakia, which is the wall or the firmament around the earth. Again, what he did, he trapped everybody below, okay, to the earth. All the spirits below, everybody that fled, that we hunted down and killed, fled to the earth, okay, because they knew God would not destroy it, which he wouldn't, okay. It seeded it. Why is he going to destroy his paradise, okay, his Garden of Eden? So he built the wall, the firmament. The only thing at that time that could pass up and down through the wall was Lucifer. None of us, the Nephilim, could go back to our realm. We were trapped below like rats, okay. Then Michael and his angels, okay, came down. Now, if you go into the Bible, it says something that's really a lot of people don't understand. Okay, it talks about Adam, and then he created Eve, and then it goes into, now there's no other humanity created yet, but then he goes into, the Nephilim were on the earth at that time. Whoa, 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 whoa. Where'd they come from? How'd they get there? Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah, well, they were there, okay, and they were the waters below that he separated, okay. So all of what was left of those that were not hunted down and killed, okay, were on the earth, okay. And then the Bible talks about it. First, he had to create his own people, okay. The Hebrews were chosen. Why were they chosen people, right? They were chosen for their bodies. YHVH, the God that is described in the Bible, okay, was only the God of Israel. You know, Christians say, oh yeah, my God, Jehovah. No, sorry, not your God. Let's go to Deuteronomy 32 and read it. He is only the God of Israel, okay? Your God is Jesus, okay, Christ. Your God is who gives you his essence. But anyways, YHVH, okay, and Israel hunted these guys down. They hunted down the Midianites, okay? All of them. They hunted down the Nephilim, who now we had projected our essence into bodies down on the earth. And we're building our realm below, since we couldn't build it technically above unless Lucifer carried it above the firmament, which did happen, okay? That's why basically the whole throne from heaven thing, okay? And we'll elaborate on that, but I can't right now because of time. Okay, they were hunted down, and a lot of people bring this up. What kind of God is this that would kill the firstborn? As spirits, and we haven't gotten into talking about how we used to incarnate, okay? We incarnated as the firstborn. We walked in. Okay, the Bible calls it begetting. Begetting is the walk-in process. Before there were souls, the only way to incarnate, a soul now is born in the womb. The souls that are cut from the rock that is Christ, since Christ resurrected, are born actually in the womb, okay? Beforehand, everybody was beget. We walked in. That was the process. But we can only walk in the firstborn, because the firstborn is the first sign of the Father's strength. This is why so many of these people had so many wives, because only the firstborn, even Solomon with 300, and all these people had 100 wives, because only the firstborn son can they manifest in. It is almost identical to the Father. It's the closest thing, genetically speaking, that you can manifest into, okay? So when you manifest yourself into one, okay, now you don't have any more firstborn sons. You're done. There's now two of you. You find another wife and have another son and manifest into them. How many are there now, Lisa? 3. And you get another wife and manifest into that firstborn. There's 4. You understand the process. And then you have a son, okay? That son you manifest in has a firstborn son. It's still you. That's why, you ever read the Bible, everybody thinks it's unfair. The son is responsible for the father's sins. Everybody said that was unfair. And it says it. Why? Because they're the same spirit. Okay, of course the son's responsible until YHVH changed the rules. That's not fair. Okay? So, okay, this is how God becomes God, placing in his essence. That's exactly how we did it. I have to tell you stories about incarnating into Monkey Man. It's the funniest thing you've ever heard, okay? Because they could see us. They had no ego. They had no veil. They could see us. And they would run, and you'd almost have to calf rope them. So he placed the wall around this world, okay? Later, that became the astral, okay? And they talk about it in the Bible. And in fact, it's the scene where New Testament, okay? It's a scene where God, I can't remember his name. But anyways, the rich guy, the rich guy and the poor guy is Lazarus. And the rich guy, sees Lazarus, and Lazarus is, all covered in sores and sitting outside the gate of his estate and yada, yada. And finally one day Lazarus dies and he goes up to heaven. And, he contacts the rich man, and the rich man sees Lazarus in heaven and with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and says, hey, how do I get there? Send me some water because I'm thirsty. Sorry, we can't do that. And he says, well, I want to get there too. And they say, there is a great void that you have to pass through and a wall that's impassable to get to where we are. Okay? Yeah, basically, he's down here and he's trapped within the firmament. Okay? Point was, same thing happened in Egypt with the firstborn, the same thing to the Midianites. And all these people say, what kind of God is this that killed children and women? Yes, we did. We killed them all. The women, the children, the firstborn. You have to understand, okay? The flesh is a tool. It's a creation, okay? The spirit belongs to God. In killing the firstborn of all of these people, it prevented the spirit from incarnating. Do you understand that? Mm-hmm. Without a firstborn, you, as a father, you had to have a firstborn. You'd get 50 wives. Without a firstborn, there was nowhere for you to go. Okay? It is body snatchers. You would place your entire self into the firstborn when you died. That was the blessing Abraham gave to Isaac, and Isaac gave to Jacob. He was placing him in them. Okay? That's how it worked. Okay? If there was no firstborn, you're done. When the spirit comes out of the body, it returns. Okay? So in killing the firstborn, okay, and killing all the children, there was nowhere for anything to go except return to YHVH Michael. Okay, so Israel, okay, hunted them down, okay, group by group by group, till they wiped out all of the Nephilim. And one section is, they're also called Rephaim. Okay, Rephaim is also Nephilim, giants. Okay, Rephaim is the real term for giants and tyrants. Rephaim, you do not rise. Those departed spirits will not pierce the rakia, okay, but lay waste in the earth. Okay, they return to Lucifer. Okay, so in hunting all of them down and killing them, same thing in Egypt. Okay, God forced Pharaoh, okay, into his own trap. Okay, Pharaoh is Lucifer. Okay, and again, I was in Egypt at that time. In killing the firstborn, the spirit has nowhere to go. Okay, and basically, it went to Michael. All of the wealth of Egypt, and we need to talk about what Egypt was. Okay, was absorbed and then refragmented into souls for the very first time. Souls were first created in Mount Sinai. Anybody who says, yeah, my soul is 1,000,000 years old, no, you're wrong. Your spirit, yes, if you were a spirit at that time. Okay, but there were no souls until Mount Sinai, and the souls are an earthly creation at that time. The only souls that come from above the firmament are the souls that come from Christ. And as he says in Revelations, I suggest you buy, the angel of God says, I suggest you buy gold from me tried in the fire. Okay? The fire was on the planet. The gold is the highest, most precious, developed spiritual material. But the war in heaven was all about God's material, God's spirit not being returned, okay? And we who were outnumbered 10 million to 1 had to go and get it, okay? And we did it planet by planet, star system by star system, and finally spilled down to the earth, because the war of heaven and earth. Don't anybody ever let you tell you it's a war in heaven. No, it's a war of heaven and earth. It spilled down to the earth, okay? And what really was the coup de grace was the firmament, the wall, because there was nowhere to run and there was nowhere to hide. And methodically, Michael, the angel of the Lord, wiped them out one by one by one by one, okay? And what came out, okay, he accumulated and increased him. Back to Samal, I never get to finish it. So anyways, I got caught in Egypt. I got caught in Egypt without my body, okay? And I never got to finish this because I'm ADDing. And Samael caught me, and boy, is he a scary sight. You talk about terror, you talk about demons scaring you. Samael is the vibration itself. Would make one wet their pants, not move in sheer terror, and just to feel as he grabs you, spiritually speaking. And he placed me in a cow, okay? You have to understand, and part of my book is my life as a cow, okay? if you go through the Bible, you'll see God's always talking. And look, these people, he's talking to Noah. And look, they have cows. And why are they talking about cows? Why are the cows so important? Why is the firstborn of every one of your sheep and cows will be mine? Okay? What is with the cows? Until I finally understood. Before there were souls, though before it was fragmented and broke up into pieces, just like a firstborn, the firstborn cow could carry the essence of God. So they were storehouses. And they would place the spiritual grown material, okay, into a cow to keep it safe. When they sacrificed a cow, it came out, then they would place it into form, okay, a firstborn, okay? But when you were bad and got caught, you would be placed into a cow. Okay, if you're caught without your body, okay, they didn't want you to return to where you came from. No, you're staying here on the earth, so they'd place you into a cow. So I was placed into a cow. I don't know how many years it was, but all I knew is this. I remember the first time we were all eating and chewing some cud, and I remember my conscience, well, I could actually talk to the other cows, and there were people I knew there that were in the cows, and said, you better start running. I said, why? I says, it's sacrifice time. I said, what does that mean? And I saw them rope a cow and take them, and they, cut the throat and did the thing, and at that time I didn't know it was a good thing, because if I did, you could have killed me then and let me back out, right? But no, it was a matter of years, and I spent time in a cow. But the cows were the storehouses of where the wealth was kept, the cows and the sheep, right? I know that's a tough one too, but that is the case, and I can point it out to you in the Bible.
Well, I know they're seen as sacred.
Excuse me?
They are seen as sacred in India, aren't they?
Yes, they are. And in Egypt, yes. India, especially India. But in Egypt that time, you see all the drawings, you see all the cow heads and everything. Of course they were sacred, because look at the pyramids and the pictures and the hieroglyphs, okay? And there's always a sacred cow, okay? That's where we kept it. But, you could not be caught out of a body. And when you were punished. And I got caught. And, Samael.
So what role does reincarnation play in all this now then?
Reincarnation is also a gift. As I've said, there is standing room only up top. They all want to get into bodies. The only way to create yourself above is from here in the flesh. You, subject to the polarities, okay, like a generator, create the food, I'm using metaphors, that feeds your spirit above, okay? The Bible states it. Okay, and I can point it out to you and show you. I'll have my Bibles next time. Okay, it's veiled, but not really. Okay, the only place you can grow yourself above is here in the flesh, and there's standing room only. Okay, we'll have to talk about walk-ins and why it happened. You understand the walk-in process was just renewed probably in the last 100 years, but mostly since the 50s. The process was stopped. That was the beginning process. But the walk-in process was used because, with time being as short as it is, you understand that in the body, from a soul being born in the womb, it takes a good 20 years for that soul to mature enough to be able to start understanding what's going on and start taking its active role about increasing itself. Okay? It takes a good 20 years. That means you have to have a body that starts and grows 20. We don't have 20 years. Okay? So God in the 50s, started in the early 1900s, but really in the 50s, came up with a process. Let's go back to the beginning, the walk-in process. Okay? And there's two reasons you can do it. Sickness or great pain. That is it. And if you ask and you ask and you ask, and it's granted, okay, you will be allowed to walk out, and a higher, more powerful soul. Do you understand the walk-in process? Comes in and takes your place?
Yeah.
Okay, well, here's what you don't understand. You ready for this one, Lisa?
Mm-hmm.
That soul that comes in that's so much greater and powerful is just another higher version of you. It's not somebody else. It's you. It's the more powerful, more refined you. It comes down from your spirit. Okay? I always used to think, too, oh, no, a greater, more powerful soul comes down and takes my body. Nope. It's you, the greater and more powerful you that comes in. And when you say that to a walk-in, you know what? They'll finally say, they'll sit there for a minute, and they'll go, you're right. I said, thank you. It is you. It is you. Okay? But what this and how we're backwards, everybody thinks it's all about them, reincarnation. You're here to learn lessons, and when you learn them all, you'll be done. Got nothing to do with you at all. Got to do with God. This whole thing is about God's perspective, the Creator's perspective. Nothing to do with you, the flesh. You are a vehicle. You are as clothes for God. you are here so he can manifest himself into. The real you is the soul. Okay? The real you is also the ego. One goes one way, one goes the other way. Okay? You incarnate to create yourself above. Okay? It was supposed to take 9 incarnations. That was the origination. Okay? That was the original thought. The scale is the numerological scale. If you look at it, 1 to 9, that is a scale that's used. 1 to 9, and then 11, 22, and 33 are the master vibrations. Okay? You were supposed to have been done at 9, which is finality. But you may do 9 10 times. You may do 1 50 times. Because you will not move on from a 2 to a 3 or a 3 to a 4 or a 4 to a 5 until you have washed the karma from the previous lifetime. You follow me? You can't go up the scale. Yeah, it's pretty simple stuff. Yeah. You can't go up the scale until you have finished the one. You can't go to 5th grade until you finish 4th. Okay? And most of us flunk 4th grade 5, 10, 15, 20 times. Okay? But your purpose of reincarnation is not to learn lessons. Yeah, the earth is a school. But it's all about God, okay? You are growing him. Hey, honestly, let me tell you a little secret. He'd like to keep everybody reincarnating as long as possible. Because, especially the ones that really, the dummies, okay? The ones that keep doing it over and over and over, because his greatest gain comes through the people that have to redo it. The more and more and more and more that you incarnate, the greater you provide to him, okay? The losers, and I hate to use that term, okay, but let's use that term, okay? Those that are ignorant provide the greatest amount of the spiritual material that he used to build the universes, okay? For example, Christians, this is true, and let me maybe kind of leave you with this. Christians always argue reincarnation, okay? I says, well, of course you argue reincarnation. You don't want to reincarnate. You want to go to heaven, right? Mm-hmm. Why do you want to come back here? Well, that's the point. But the truth is, spiritual teachers will teach you, everybody reincarnates. Actually, the Christians, and not only the Christians, but everybody that's fragmented from Michael since Michael resurrected, they don't need to incarnate as much. They are the finest spiritual material that we grew, me, and all the demons and all the angels of Israel, okay, that we grew, that was supposed to be ours, that was taken and given to the heathens, okay, who became Christians, okay? So the difference in they're cut from the finest gold. They don't need to reincarnate. They don't become better by reincarnating, okay? So he keeps them. They may reincarnate once or twice. Most, if you do numerology on Christians, you'll find most of them are 3s and 4s, very low, young souls. Let's call it young souls. Let's not use lowly evolved. They're younger souls, okay? But their purpose, they're feeders. Their purpose is not reincarnation. Their purpose is they don't get bigger. They don't get better. But they need not to tarnish the gold that they are, because then you go down to Christian hell. And if there's a hell, yes, there is a Christian hell. But hell is for Christians. It's like Pat Benatar's old song, hell is for children. No, hell is for Christians. There's no hell that I go to, you go to, or Sean goes to. No such thing. But in the world to come, and it's coming, those that didn't have to serve, didn't have to grow, and didn't work in service to the Creator, okay, they now are going to be the ones in form, okay? That material is going to be the ones thrown into form, okay, and have to increase the wealth. And so they got something really coming, okay? If the Creator decides to do this, and it's teetering. This new form that I tell you about, Lisa, can take up to 7 souls or 7 seeds in one body.
So
what that means,
entire soul groups could incarnate almost.
Exactly in one form. And what that means is the Creator can do it that much faster. He's always looking to get better and refine more and more and more of himself and awaken more of himself. And if we can do it better and faster, why not? That's how it was. So if
the human form becomes redundant, what happens to everybody that's currently occupying one?
Guess what, Lisa?
What?
That's going into the next interview. But and we want to do it real soon. I'm ready tomorrow. But
I'm ready tomorrow too. This is
good. Okay.
Yes,
here's what I want to tell you. You want to write this down so you can think about it?
Yep.
Here are you asked Sean something excellent, okay? You asked him, will he give a date? Will he give a date? Right? I heard him. By the way, I'm glad you're still talking to us after Sean's interview. He's great in writing, but when he's put the mic in his face, he's not, okay? And boy, for days he was so down. I had to pick him up. I said, don't worry about it. You're my writer. Just give me the mic and you can't shut me up. Trust me. As you've seen. He was laughing. As you've seen. Okay, write this down, Lisa.
Yep.
Here are the three choices, okay, that the Creator is pondering right now. And you will not hear it anywhere else. And I assure you it's from the horse's mouth. Okay? Those who can ascend will. But you already know that. Mm-hmm. Okay? Destroy the planet. Let it become a star that it's going to be. And basically, all of the wealth, the souls, will return to him anyways. Okay?
Right.
Except for one thing. We haven't even gotten there yet. But it goes to, we're talking about how Lucifer is a good guy. We haven't even gotten there. But there's one statement made in Luke 4 where Lucifer and Christ Jesus meet for the first time. He's out in the desert. And Lucifer carries him up to see all the kingdoms of all the world, right? And he says, all the glory, glory is divinity, the spiritual wealth, the souls, okay? All the glory of all of these kingdoms is mine. And whomsoever I will give it, I will. And Jesus says, nothing, okay, because it's true, okay? All of the wealth before Christ is in Lucifer, okay? Now, Lucifer, with Christ risen, Lucifer is cut out of the picture. No. All of the souls, the spirits, 144,000 raised with Christ, okay? There's 144,000 that are in heaven, if you want to call it that, okay? There are 144,000 angels of Israel. But all of the souls, which were all the children, the earthly wealth, okay, was in Lucifer. If God destroys the planet, he will lose his own original children. We're talking about not adopted. Everything through Christ, through Michael, is adopted to the Creator. You understand that? Israel were the real deal, his essence fragmented into form. Okay? Everybody else is adopted to God, okay, through Christ.
Christ Michael.
Okay? That's the only way. He says, to come near to me, you only come near to God through Christ, through Jesus, which is true, because everybody else is adopted except those that were original. Well, all of the grown wealth, all of the gold, except for the 144,000 spirits, is still left in Lucifer. Okay? So if he destroys the planet, he will not get that. Believe me, he wants it. Okay? So, choice is, let those who ascend can destroy the planet or raise Lucifer. And there's a segment in the Bible that says that Lucifer will be raised, okay? And all the Christians want to deny that's what it means. I said it's crystal clear. Well, if they'll raise his angels and raise his spirits, right, and I'll have to get that for you. Those are the three choices considering.
Is that what's been interpreted as the return or the birth of the Antichrist?
No, not at all. Put that away. Nope. Lucifer Rising. It might be a title for the book, okay? But that is what makes the most sense. If he raises all of us, you have to understand, there is only one mighty, mighty standing up for humanity right now. It's not Michael. It's not the angels above the firmament. Okay?
You're gonna give people a heart attack.
wait. I want an agreement. Wait, stop.
Just that phrase, raise Lucifer. That's
where
just because of that.
Again, we haven't even got on. Not you. Wait till we start talking about you or not you. Okay, because you're not. Okay, but if you raise Lucifer, that raises humanity. That's what you don't understand. All of your memories are stored in the ego. Your soul does not include your earthly memories of the body. Okay, so when ego through the genetic, why we reincarnate is in the same genetic line. As we get our ego back, and ego and soul are matched, okay? That is important. But the ego and all your memories and everything else will not come with you. The purpose goes again, okay, to Ephesians 1:10. The purpose and the will of God is, I tell Chris all the time, stop, okay? Here's the purpose, read it. And he says, to merge all things in heaven with all things on earth through Christ. That is God's purpose. Okay? That is the purpose you serve. Okay? You grow him. So anyways, there's the three choices that he's considering. And I'm saying it isn't fair. This is my argument with the angels that are above the firmament. I don't have anybody incarnate. Because you lied to him from the beginning. You told him we were made in God's image. We're not. We're made as his image, as his shape. Not in his image. There's a big difference. Okay? And if you're not serving the purpose for which you're here, okay, you lose. Nowhere in the Bible does it say anybody's going. You probably don't know this, but nowhere in the Bible does it say anybody is going to heaven. It's not in there. Okay? And I have Christian scholars, and Sean's heard me argue and I debate with them, and they'll pull out all kinds of things. If you believe in me, then I will. Oh, the word actually in Greek is entrust, not believe. Okay? If you entrust to me, then you will have treasures in heaven where no wolf, that's Lucifer, can take or touch. Okay? And he's talking to the Jews because they had something to entrust. No Christian or no heathen that became Christian is relevant in the Bible till after Christ ascended. Not until then, when he got up there, did he start handing out Holy Spirit, which is really a holy soul, okay? Mm-hmm. That's what it really means. Did he start giving it to anybody? Who else but the Israelites had the Spirit? Just them. No heathen. Nobody else. Until Christ resurrected, they did not go on to anybody else. And nobody else had the soul from God or the Holy Spirit. Okay? Not until he got up there. So, until Christ resurrected, we're on the old system. Once he got up there, then it was all different and they became relevant. And back that up, you go into Ephesians 2, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And it dictates the spiritual condition. And he's talking to the Christians. Paul's talking. Who is the Archangel Gabriel? Who is the Spirit of Truth? Who is the greatest teacher of the new soul and new system in place in this universe? Okay? And he states, at that time, you were, these are the heathens that are now Christians, without God, without Christ, and without hope in this world. But now, in Christ, you have become. Okay? There's three choices. The best choice for humanity is to raise Lucifer. The angels above, Michael's angels, all want the new form. We can grow 7 times faster. Anyways, I'll leave you with those 3 questions. And those ideas.
That's a lot to think about. Well, thank you both very, very much, and I'll talk to you again.
Okay.
Sounds good. Thank you.